Okay, hello guys. Today I'm going to do a user test on the Officeworks website, one that probably a lot of Australians are going to be familiar with. So I thought it'd be an interesting one to look at. So I've loaded up the page. We're here. Straight away. I recognise the brand Officeworks. I'm very familiar. It does look quite busy, is one thing I would say. As I go down the page, it's looking a little bit cleaner. Bulk bars, favourites, greener choices for work. Oh, that's nice. A little bit of focus on green to keep track of what's trending. So we're sort of getting into different product news. Easy returns, 40,000 products. Okay, and I'm going to scroll back up. A couple of things that I do like. We see this quite often on high performing e-commerce sites, but the clear reference to the free delivery, and also timing as well, like free 2 hour click and collect. That's quite impressive. So that's a good one. Then price beat guarantee. So that those things are all pretty good. Um, the one observation I would have here though is that it's a very busy sort of landing page. We've got these sort of images moving here, which I'm not necessarily looking at. I'm not really looking to create an account off the bat. So I can understand probably tracking orders and so forth are important. But for me, there's quite a lot of noise here as opposed to really sort of getting into what I'm looking for, which today is my new MacBook Pro. So I want to have a look for that. I want to do a bit of start my search for that. So I'll say instinctively, I've gone straight to the search bar. If I go through here in the navigation, which would be the other way I might do it, it's kind of a little bit daunting as to where I might find this MacBook Pro. It's probably under technology. Yeah, where is it? Sort of, there you go, computers, MacBook. It's actually pretty high up. But to be very honest, I would be, in this case, for me, I'd be straight into the in the search bar. And probably one thing they've done well is I can see that very clearly here. It's telling me to put in the products, brands, and categories. So I feel pretty confident with that. So I'd be going, MacBook Pro. Now I can see here it's either in computers, laptops, and 2-in-1, and then it's got specific models. There's a lot of detail there. I would probably want more of a category. I'm kind of not really sure what the difference is between Apple MacBooks and iMacs and then laptops and 2-in-1. So that kind of a little bit of confusion. And then we can see here looking through some of the models. So I'd probably go into this top one here. Potentially, I'd also be keen to see some images there on the drop down, so I could actually see. Now, if I just go back here, it's quite orientating if I could see what I'm looking at, and also maybe just making it clearer, that I'm going to either a category or a product page, because really I'm trying to start my search. So I'm wanting to, as fast as I can, I guess, find this, what would have been this page here, which is MacBook and iMac. But I'm doing it through the search because it feels like it'll be quicker. So I'm looking here at my results, and this feels good. I'm seeing a lot of the MacBooks, so that orientates me there. I think the structure here is a really sound one. As we can see, quite a solid filter here of the options, so I can refine by it. And and a lot of detail here actually. So you can you can sort of zone in which you might want to. For me on the MacBook Pro, I'm probably just interested in an upgrade, and I have a 13-inch one, but I don't know, maybe they're not even doing 13-inch now. Is it 14 inches though? Is that the way to go? 14, 16-inch. There's a 13-inch there. So what I'd be inclined to do is probably put in my price range, because I only want to spend up to two and a bit thousand. And there you go. A lot of them are just the 13-inch there as well. So, and then because I'm keen to kind of just replace like for like, I'm looking for the screen resolution. That's interesting, actually. I can't easily find that now. Price, color, video, operating system, battery, hard drive. So it's sort of taken that away as an option, which is interesting and maybe a little bit confusing, because I would have rather have tried to filter for a 13-inch, but it looks like most of these are in that price range anyway. So I'd look through that. So at surface level, I'm thinking, well, which one do I go into? They all look exactly the same. So what's really the difference? You're trying to, at a very quick glance, understand a Pro 13.3 to a Pro. Is that what it is? M2, looks like M1, M2. So I anyway, I'll click into one here. That was, more to start my search. I'm having a look here at some of the main features. I can see they've got the Open Pay and Zip, which isn't really of interest to me, but I know that is definitely good to know that's there. I can see as well that they've got clear delivery instructions, which I like. So next business day, your store, click and collect, so a few different options there, which is good. I'm already fairly familiar with the MacBook Pro, so what I'm sort of more interested in is, if I'm going to upgrade, what am I getting that I maybe didn't already have? So I can see sort of specifications, connectivity. What gets tricky on things like this is, ultimately, I like my MacBook Pro. I'll want to get whatever the best price point I can based on the one that I need. How do I know which MacBook Pro I need? It's the features here. I'm hoping here it'll be maybe some sort of guide. I mean, I don't do a whole lot of like hardcore graphics, and it's more just for a work computer. So potentially some sort of guide here to point me in the right direction, and also why I should go with this one as well. Because again, I'm kind of right now, you're sort of thinking, well, hang on, there was a whole lot of other options. So what are the differences? So if I can maybe, so I can see here there's like an add to compare. So I might try that one. So I can then go, what if I then go back and go back to this landing page? It's lost my filter now. That would be nice to remember that. I'll go back to my price point. So what is the difference between that one? I'll add this one. I'll add this one. That one looks like it's the same. So then, what's the difference between that one as well? So let's have a look. But I like the fact that there is this option as a compare. I think that's really great. So I can start to go, okay, cool. Well, let me see what the differences are. So I'm sort of scrolling down here to understand the differences. There's a lot of similarities too. It's quite tricky to sort of obviously know what the differences are here. So and I presume the yellow is what is pointing out the differences. But what would be handy is something sort of able to pick out more the core things. I mean, there's, you're probably looking at things like speed, size, The RAM is going to be one. So those are the things that you're probably hoping are going to be, and the hard drive capacity as well as obviously. And then what would be great is if you could tick off what's important to. So first of all, potentially like predicting what's going to be more important to the user, putting that up the top so I can more quickly see what I'm interested in, or even if I can tick it off. Because what's interesting is you go down here and you go, oh, okay, yep, hard drive capacity is what I'm interested in. I'd like a higher one. But you can't then see what the price is. So you're scrolling back up here going, oh, okay, which one? So I'm like, okay, that's the more expensive one. And that had a higher. So it's like, okay, the difference between these two is more the just the hard drive. So yeah, I'd say that's really the key difference. And then the difference between the I see this, and no, and this is an M1 and this is an M2. So I presume the difference between these two is the better processing, but then it's not really that clear to easily see that. So where does it talk about? Yeah, so it talks about the M2 chip, and when you first look at it, you're like, I'm assuming the M2 is better than the M1, but is it? And then maybe like some information around that. So, what would make this easier for me to make a clear decision is to, and I don't know how hard this would be, but is to pull out the key features that most people are making decisions on, which is going to be RAM, the chip speed, the screen size, having them front and center, and then maybe some sort of hover over box that tells me why that is of interest. Like this, how much difference that increase of the M2 is going to make, why I may want to use that. That would sort of give me a bit more confidence to go and use that. So, let me click back into one of the products now. So that was good, and I've got the compare still there. I would say that it's not necessarily easy to go through all the different features and specifications. Now, the Maxwell, but that would help me more confidently do it. And then, it's just a price comparison. I mean, I'm going to look at here, I'll look at JB Hi-Fi, then do the price comparison and see where I might get the cheaper one. But if we take a step back and we look at some of the core principles then on this site and how it's performing. So first of all, we say, beautiful design. What do we think of the design? It is overall, I would say it feels professional. The area that one thing I would say though, it starts to feel very busy. So that's one area that potentially could help the user experience here. Particularly, you look at the homepage. There's a lot going on. It's very busy, and even on those product pages, there's just a lot going on. It gets hard, particularly when there's so many features and things. It's actually harder to digest. And my sense is that there could be some value in actually showing me more the things that you think are important, as opposed to having to digest so much information, which makes me more nervous to go and add it. It's like when you go and speak to the attendant and he sort of in a minute sort of puts you at ease because he's like, oh, look, all you really need is X and Y. That would probably help me here and put me more at ease going through to make a purchase. So the intuitiveness of the design I thought was very good. I think the search bar was excellent. I thought the filtering was really good. That's probably one of the real strong points of this site is that there was a lot of detail in the filter options that you could sort of filter by. So that was good. It helped me quickly get to the bottom of what I was looking for. So we can sort of see again here that all the different filter options were quite detailed and intuitive there on the side where I could look to as needed. That was very well done. And I thought the search was good, but potentially an area to work on. just in terms of bringing in some visuals, maybe when I did the MacBook Pro, letting me know a little bit more what was a category, and then even like it's very hard to see quickly see the difference on that. So potentially a visual there might have helped, but overall that's still pretty solid. And I think this is and I had confidence going into the search, so that made it more efficient for me. So that was good in terms of the intuitiveness. Um, I would say then in terms of speed, felt good. There were no issues there in terms of speed, so I thought that wasn't going to really be a problem for me. Um, Now, in terms of more subtle things, it's interesting. So, value proposition. Am I clear why I'd go with Officeworks over JB Hi-Fi? No, not really, to be honest. I mean, it's just that Officeworks. It really comes down to then you're just going to go do a price comparison, but there could potentially be more spread in terms of the brand and the value proposition there, in terms of, instead of being so busy, maybe focusing on more on why I'm going to go with Officeworks, what that incentive might be. And this sort of links into more and sort of trust and credibility. Like, do I trust Officeworks? I mean, inherently I do, because it's such a big brand. So you go, yeah, they're probably going to look after me. But there's really nothing that's really reiterating the trust here. So other than the strong brand, it's not that there's really any user feedback to suggest to go, yeah, this was great. I actually got my purchase in 2 hours, and that may be something that makes me keener to go with Officeworks over JB's. It's like, yeah, I know I'm going to get this delivered next day reliably. I'll be happy with the product. So, there are no reviews, but I mean, even that's a product review, even some sort of testimonials from users sort of saying, yep, I've used Officeworks, they're amazing, easy experience. So there's no real sort of supporting blocks here in terms of why I should trust in this experience over some of the others. So that's potentially some areas to work on there. But overall, I would say this is a pretty good it's a very good website. In terms of e-com and some of the things that you can look at in terms of usability, with the main things that I'd probably be looking to potentially focus on here would be around how to add in more credibility, brand trust, some of those things which ultimately give me a little bit more comfort to make the purchase. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Interesting website, and overall good experience. Thank you.